Hey, friendo, Steve here. Welcome back to Wrestle Juice. It's WrestleMania week, the biggest week of the whole year, I guess, maybe, in WWE anyways. So we're going to have a whole week full of WrestleMania content, predictions, rankings, gradings, ratings, all that kind of stuff. And we're starting right here with grading every single WrestleMania story build to the match this year for WrestleMania 39. That's right. We're going to break down all 13 matches that have been announced. I don't foresee them announcing any other matches because nothing else really needs to be announced. And we're going to take a look at the actual stories that were crafted around these matches leading into WrestleMania. We're going to grade how well they did in telling a story that makes us give a damn about the match. Now, sometimes the build doesn't matter when it comes to how good WrestleMania is. Once you're there doing the WrestleMania thing, sometimes just the match that matters. Sometimes the match will make everything all right. But we're going to go ahead and take a look at what work they've put in so far to get to WrestleMania. If you haven't already, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, a little like button too. The subscribe, the notify bell, and the like button. They're all good. Anyways, we're going to kick things off with the match that's going to kick off WrestleMania, evidently. John Cena versus Austin Theory. Here they are, the two giants amongst me right here. So this one, I would say it's a bare minimum effort here. John Cena showed up, which granted is kind of a big deal given how busy John Cena tends to be. He's a Hollywood guy. He's an actor now. He's got a lot of things going on. I'm not sure how many more WrestleManias he has in him. He's obviously coming back to put over Austin Theory, who really desperately needs something to get his career started now that it's, 5 years deep, at least in WWE. It's probably about 5, maybe 4 years deep. So Cena showed up, did a really killer promo. It was a really great promo. And in fact, it was a promo that has to do more with Austin Theory, the performer, than Austin Theory, the character. He said, if you don't find that thing like I found, my Doctor of Thugonomics thing, you're going to end up being fired, because that's what happened to John Cena in the Ruthless Aggression era. He almost got fired because he was a bit on the boring side. So bare minimum effort. The promo itself was really good. The promo itself, the Cena promo, is memorable. So I give it a little bit better than a bare minimum effort grade. I give this build a C+. Since John Cena's promo, Austin Theory's just been coming out and beating up on guys like the Street Profits, which really doesn't help his case all that much. Then he stares in the camera and he tells John Cena that he's the future. Next, Seth Rollins versus Logan Paul. So I don't really care much about this match because I don't really care too much about Logan Paul. That being said, it is going to be a phenomenal match. I think it's going to be a really good match, and I think WWE did a good job in just going all in on Logan Paul as a bad guy, as a guy we'd like to see get beat up. However, I just don't really care about the person Logan Paul all that much. He doesn't do a lot for me, and I really don't care to see him on my TV. Although I do think that the guy is a pretty decent wrestler. He's obviously extremely athletic, and he's taken to what you do in wrestling pretty darn well. I just personally, trying to take myself out of this, out of my own personal biases against Logan Paul, they would have had to have gone overtime and over and above in order to get me to care about this match. So I'll you know what? I will give them a solid B on the build to this. I think that they've actually invested some time. They've invested some effort into it, roping in the Miz and Seth and Logan. It's a B. It's a solid B. It still it wasn't enough. It had to have been like an A+ build to get me to care about this match. That being said, Seth Rollins is probably the best wrestler on the roster, and Logan Paul can put on a really good match if he's got a really good opponent, and there's nobody better than Seth Rollins. This match is going to be good, but I give this a B on the build side. Not enough to get me to care, but I think they've done plenty to build the match itself. Next up, Charlotte Flair versus Rhea Ripley. I give this one a D because, come on, There's been like one cool moment, and that was when Dom told Charlotte to smile more, because that was just really kind of funny. And then there was like a week after that, I think it was last week or 2 weeks ago, they did the big pull apart brawl and Rhea Ripley was making funny faces at Charlotte Flair. I thought that stuff was good, but there's been way too much talking in this build. Way too much talking. Far too much talking. It's just Charlotte coming out and dropping a long promo. Rhea coming out and dropping a long promo. Them getting together in the ring and dropping long promos. It just doesn't work. And this never should have been built on. Given what Rhea Ripley is as a character, talking really shouldn't be her thing. She shouldn't be trying to explain stuff to people. I think that she's fine on the mic. She's nothing special. But what's so great about Rhea Ripley is everything else. It's just her general aura. Yes, she is intimidating. She does strike fear into people. There's no need for her to tell anybody that. She should be hunting Charlotte Flair, and they should be doing nothing but pull apart brawls or something a bit more clever than just endless promos. Not a lot of inspiration behind this build. I give it a D. Next up, the Usos versus Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. So really what you want to do is take this from, well, you can't really do that. This is obvious. Look, this is clearly an A build. I give this an A grade. I'm not going to give it an A plus because I kind of feel like from like Elimination Chamber when Sami Zayn had his match against Roman Reigns, right? If you go from there, if you go from that moment, and I know you need to go before then, but really the actual build to this match began when Sami Zayn lost to Roman Reigns. From there, there's been some really cool moments. And yes, I am factoring in the history behind this leading to this match as well. I am factoring that in, which is why it's boosted to an A. However, some of the stuff along the way has been a bit on the lukewarm side. Like, for example, since last week we had the big hug between Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Now they just come out and they show off a new t-shirt. And they pander to the crowd a little bit. It's sort of lost its bite. And then the Usos come in and they attack. It should just be nothing but gang warfare between these two. The way they set up the match was simply, hey, now we're on the same page. We're going to take out the bloodline. Let's all stare at the sign. And then Jimmy's like, no, you don't get our titles. And then Jay says, yes, you do. I feel like there could have been a bit more of an intense way to build to this match. That being said, come on. It goes back years and years and years. This is going to be, I'm really, really looking forward to this match. They got to this point. I'm cool with it because of everything that happened before. But I'm not going to give it an A plus because the last couple weeks have been pretty good, but really not living up to what they had done for the years before that, which is why it gets such a good grade. It gets an A regardless. I'm dying to see this match. It's going to be probably the best match of WrestleMania. Let's move on. Asuka and Bianca Belair. This match build, I give a C because they've done a little bit more than Rhea and Charlotte. Asuka as her sort of clown kind of character, a bit on the unpredictable side, always, throwing up her or leaking her mist coming out of her mouth, teasing that she could hit Bianca with this at any time. It hasn't been terribly inspired. They've done the bare minimum, which in my mind is a C. I don't think anything they've done has been off-putting necessarily, kind of like with Rhea and Charlotte, where they're just doing these long promos. That to me is off-putting. I'm like, why are you doing that? In this situation, Asuka's being really creepy and it freaks out Bianca. And there is some intrigue about this match, just given how strongly both opponents are booked. So I give this a C. They done the bare minimum. Nothing's been great. Nothing's been overwhelmingly bad. It's just been there. Let's move on. Damage Control versus Becky, Lita, and Trish Stratus. This match, it goes back to Becky and Bayley and Damage Control basically being doormats. I kind of feel like Damage Control really needs to win this, but I kind of feel like they're not going to. And that's probably a problem because Damage Control is going to stick around and Lita and Trish Stratus, I'm guessing, are not going to stick around. And so Damage Control will really get nothing from this match if they lose it. If they win it, they get everything. They really stand to be on, say, hey, not only did we take out these legends, we took out the reigning women's tag champs. And so that could motivate them to get a match against Becky Lynch and Lita and get those titles back. However, I don't know that that's going to happen. I feel like this is going to be one of those let's pop the crowd moments where Damage Control just gets humiliated. And that's sort of where they've been every step of the way. I don't feel Damage Control has really had the upper hand, with the exception of they've attacked Trish backstage. They've done more than the bare minimum here. I'm going to give this build a B because they've done more than the bare minimum. They brought back Lita and Trish Stratus for one thing to motivate the match. That's kind of a big deal. A lot of really great a lot of really great moments for the crowds to really pop them with these legends coming back. So I give them a B. I'm sad because I feel like Damage Control, and hey, I'm shooting this before Raw and SmackDown. I imagine on Raw, Damage Control is going to get some sort of upper hand on Becky, Lita, and Trish. That's how really it should go down. Even if that happens, that'll just sort of justify me giving this a B, because I think that grade is giving them a little bit of the benefit of the doubt here, because there has been a history between Becky and Bayley. And they brought in the legends. So I give this one a B, unless there's some killer go-home angle on Raw that just elevates this feud completely within one angle, which is always possible. They did that for the main event at WrestleMania 2019 with that awesome go-home segment with Ronda, Charlotte, and Becky, and they're all fighting in handcuffs, and there's cops there and everything. I thought that angle alone elevated that feud quite a bit. So if they do something like that, then consider this up to an A-. But barring that, I think it sticks at a B, which isn't a terrible grade. I think everybody in this feud has tried to do something here. Moving on, Brock versus Omos. I give this one a B-. I'll be honest with you. I'm looking forward to this match. Seeing Brock Lesnar get Omos up there for an F5, that's the attraction of the match. Watching Brock struggle against a guy who's much bigger than him, that's the attraction. I'm down with that. That's pro wrestling to me, man. I think that's really cool. The circus type stuff, right? I liked the segment they had with MVP and Brock when Brock was like, pitch me on Omos, and MVP did it. And then he spat out the liquor. I liked that. I liked the segment with Brock and Omos where Omos puts his hand up to Brock's head and it's the same size. And then he goes for to shake his hand and Brock has to get out of all that. So I've liked both those segments. It's very simple. It doesn't take up a lot of time. It doesn't take up too much space. That being said, I could use a couple more of those segments. I'm going to give this build a B- because they've done what they needed to do and then a little bit more, I guess. They did the bare minimum and then a little bit more. So I'm cool with this. They honestly could have just had a thing where Brock stayed home and they just ran a bunch of videos or whatever. That wouldn't have been the bare minimum. I would have given that a D. Anyways, so yeah, I give this a B-. I'm looking forward to the match, and I thought the two segments they did to build it were all right. They're pretty good. Maybe we'll probably get one more sort of segment like that on the go home. That's what I'm thinking. Next up, Finn Balor versus Edge, Hell in a Cell. You know what, man? I give this one an A-. I think this build has been pretty solid. If you think about all the things that Edge and Judgment Day have been through, you can't help but just think, man, this is a pretty decent long-term booking here. Edge has spent a lot of time with Judgment Day. Of course, he used to be the leader of Judgment Day. Finn Balor took over, kicked him out. Edge comes back with Beth Phoenix. They concerto the living shit out of Beth Phoenix. And then he comes back again and he challenges Finn, and this time it's the Demon. I mean, goddamn, that's a lot of twists and turns around, man. That's a lot of effort right there. Actually, I'm going to give this a solid A. This has been an A build. It really has been. So yeah, I'm cool with this. This is actually a really good build. I'm looking forward to this match. I want to see Judgment Day version of Demon Balor. I think that's kind of cool. And then I don't know what Edge is going to do, but Edge always does something really cool for WrestleMania. So, and it's Hell in a Cell. Fuck yeah, that gets an A. They put some effort into this, man. Everybody's putting some effort into this one. I'm down with this. Some people might not be into this match. I'm hell into this match. Let me know in the comments below. Are you into this match? You want to see the Demon? I do. Oh man. So this might be my match of the fucking show, man. We got Sheamus, we got Drew McIntyre, and we got Gunther, the Ring General. And it's all for the Intercontinental Championship. How has the build been? Well, I think it's been pretty decent because it's sort of, number one, done a really good job elevating the Intercontinental Championship along with Gunther's reign in general. They've done a hell of a job. elevating the Intercontinental Championship to a title that actually two former WWE champions, they want a piece of that. Sheamus wants it because he's never had it. Drew wants it because he has had it. But it's also a big deal now. So Drew's going after it. So a guy like Drew, who just recently, a couple of years ago, was WWE champion. Sheamus, who's been around forever, and he's having like a career resurgence right now. And Gunther, a guy who everybody, loves to see in the ring. Yeah, it's all just about beating people up. I give this one an A-. I think that they've done everything they could do to make this a bit on the intriguing side. Granted, given what I do, we had heard reports that this was going to be the match, so it sucks a little bit of the drama out of it. I wish I wouldn't have known going into this, but that's on me. It's just my job to keep tabs on all the dirt sheets, and they had this one early. But this is A- for this one. They did the thing where who's it going to be? And then they both like take out each other, and then Gunther and his dudes get involved, and then it's a DQ. And so Pierce is like, joke's on you. We're going to do both these guys. And Gunther's pissed off about that. No, I think it's good stuff. I give this one an A-. We've got, what is this? A bunch of women tag matches. This is the Fatal 4-Way Showcase tag match at WrestleMania. We've got Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler. We've got Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez. And then we got Shotzi and Natalya. And then we've also got Vacant. I don't know who Vacant is going to be. I have no idea who it could possibly be. I don't know who's going to be in this match. If I probably thought about it or looked online, maybe I could figure out. I don't know. It's been a weird build. They had like some qualifying matches for these spots, and then I don't even know why. I don't even know why Vacant's here. I've not been paying attention really much to this build here, but they've done more. They had some qualifying matches. That makes me happy. I give this like a B, a B build. They just sort of did this to get more people on the card, which I think is pretty awesome. So B-. I'll give this like a B-. Like the match really has no purpose other than just featuring people. So, B-. Yeah, they did more. They did more than the bare minimum. They had qualifying matches. So they did more than the bare minimum. Men's tag. Yeah, same thing, man. Same exact thing. They're like Street Profits. They can't be left off the WrestleMania card. So, and Braun can't be left off the WrestleMania card. Everybody else here probably could be, but luckily for all them, they made this into a tag team thing. So yeah, B-. I guess. What I give the last one? A B-, I think. It's a B-. It's like whatever. They had them all talking to each other and stuff and being in matches with each other. So screw it. They filmed a bunch of weird vignettes with the Viking Raiders. Who do you think is going to win this match? I think it's going to be Street Profits. What about you guys? Magnifique. Rey Mysterio versus Dom Mysterio. A+, baby. This has been my feud of the fucking year so far because I love Dominic Mysterio coming out and trashing his dad, saying he's just a deadbeat piece of shit. And Rey's like, I'm not going to fight you, son. I'm not going to fight you, son. And all it took was Dom Mysterio saying, hey, mom, shut up, and my sister's stupid, for Rey to be like, fuck you, kid. I'm going to whoop your ass at WrestleMania. That crowd exploded on SmackDown the other night. I spat on myself. I love this build. I think it's fucking awesome. I give this an A+. A++. Absolutely. Oh, this is going to be a fucking match right here, man. I'm looking forward to this one. I'm wearing my purple on WrestleMania, Dad. Tell you what. Moving on. Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes. So Cody Rhodes won the Rumble after coming back from a torn pec. And then Paul Heyman and Roman tried to make it personal by bringing up his dad in a promo. And Cody Rhodes didn't like that. He's like, I'm just here to win some titles, man. And then he was like, oh, but Roman, you're cool, right? And then Roman's like, no, I'm not cool. I'm going to talk shit about your dad too. And then he was like, oh, okay. So now I'm going to fuck with you by having Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn fuck with you guys. Dude, A, of course, this is an A. I'm not going to give this an A+. I'm not going to give this an A+. I'm not going to give this an A+. I should give this an A+. This is probably an A+. But that's not an A+. Yeah, this is an A+ build. Cody's promos are so fucking good. They are so good. And Roman's character work is, this is an A+. Of course, an A+. Roman's character work is so good. Cody's work is so good. I give a shit about this match. Is Cody going to win? He's got a new fancy champion weightlifting title, or belt rather, that has a bunch of shit written on it, like from what he's done in the past. This has been a killer feud. It really has been. And they've roped in the bloodline and the people have been into it and it's been awesome. And Cody Rhodes did his part. He made it personal. He started dismantling the bloodline by bringing in Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, by bringing them together. He's been the politician. And in the meantime, he's been cutting killer promos, getting even more over with the crowd. This gets an A+ build. I'm looking forward to this match. Oh my God. I'm going to ugly cry when Cody wins those titles off of Roman Reigns. And I'm going to ugly cry if Cody Rhodes gets hit with a spear and eats that pin and the tribal chief retains. Either way, I'm going to cry at the end of this match, man. Probably not, because I don't really cry at wrestling. But theoretically, spiritually, I'll be crying. Anyways, there you go. There's all my grades for the WrestleMania builds this year. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate it. Check out this video over here. See you over there.